sector, and service sector is taking the lead. That's where you know that there is a problem actually in Nigeria. Because ideally, if the agricultural sector, which is the mainstay of Nigeria economy, which we have over 70%, I mean over 50% of Nigerians working in the farm, that should have taken the lead. But when we are now seeing not even the manufacturing sector that's supposed to take the lead after manufacturing sector, we are now seeing service sector taking the lead. That shows that this corroborates with this what we are actually saying. Now, for bank to take the lead, that wouldn't have been a problem, because you know why? Every businesses come through financial sector. Every businesses must be pay and outflow and inflow of money. There must be inbound and outbound, But the thing is this: after banking should have been like 45%. Then we'll now see the next one should be agriculture sector. Then we now have manufacturing sector. But you can see manufacturing sector is contributing 5.77% when banking is doing 70%. That shows that it's purely portfolio investment. And for portfolio investment, the volatility is very high, because once they notice any chaos, they will just withdraw their money. They withdraw their investment, they take their equity, they take their shares from where they have it. So that's why we always canvass we want manufacturing sector to take the lead. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team must make sure that they revive the agricultural sector. They also make sure that they support the manufacturing sector alongside small and medium scale businesses.
What sort of support are you speaking of now, talking about the manufacturing and production sector specifically?
Right, beyond palliative, because I'm not a proponent of palliative. As an economist, we believe palliative is too temporal and is an intervention. We want government to make sure they create an enabling environment. A good example, you are seeing queue on the filling stations, and they are telling you that the queue is because of bad road. Can you imagine that at this point in time we have a bad road that wouldn't allow supply chain of fuel? So they must create an enabling environment for businesses. There must be a window, for businesses to actually get more fund. Look at the MPR of Central Bank of Nigeria. It's increasing every day. And if it's increasing, that means the interest rate is very, very high. So as a businessman, I wouldn't want to go to bank to collect instrument, to get loan, because if I get that, I'm going to pay beyond what I'm even borrowing. So if I'm paying 25% or 30% of how much, I wouldn't want to be in. And that's why every small business die every 5 years, in Nigeria, because they cannot sustain because of the interest rate. So I think the major thing they should do now, make sure they work on that interest rate, make sure they also create enabling environment and give us infrastructure that will engender a smooth operation of businesses in Nigeria.
Well said, Dr. Aliyu Ilyas. But let us now touch on, the state that attracted, the lion's share of investment, and that is Lagos State. Lagos State is, said to be the commercial capital of Nigeria and one of the major economies across Africa, which accounted for about 83.13% of the total inflows. What does this, geographical concentration imply for other regions across Nigeria? There has been a lot of talks around, state having, eternally generated revenues, or using what they have to generate more revenue, but not so much has been done, in that regard. But let's speak to Lagos State, attracting the lion's share of investment, about 83.13%. What are your thoughts on that, Dr. Ilyas?
To be fair with Lagos State government, you agree with me that they create a very suitable business environment for businesses in Lagos, and by geographical location and by natural endowment. You see, Lagos has water, so because of that, it attracts a lot of investment. Beyond that, you recall that even in Abuja that we had before, most banks have their headquarters situated in Abuja. But now, since Buhari said there should be TSA, every of that headquarters now located to Broad Street and Lagos Island in specific. That simply means it will attract more business. But beyond that, I think the federal government have issue of policy some and such. Let me give you an example. When President Yar'Adua was president, he was dredging River Niger up to Niger State, so that we could have some inflow of some light ship into Niger State, into Kogi State, so that they can have a lot of businesses in that area. But when President Jonathan came, he stopped the dredging of that River Niger. That's a serious problem, and it's a serious problem because government should be continuous. I can also give you an example of Calabar Port. Why will it be Lagos is the only place that that Port Authority will be functional very well? We have Tinkan Island, we have Wharf. Why don't we have Calabar Port on all of them being well operational? That will also bring more businesses. Then for northern part of Nigeria, you can see Abuja is taking the lead after Lagos. For another place, no businessman want to transact business in where there is volatility, where there is kidnapping,